Well, hello again, everyone. My name is Kronos006, back with more Gabriel Knight Sins of the Fathers. And when last we left off, we had a couple things to check out in day 3, the first of which is going to Tulane University. There was a lecture or something we were supposed to attend.
It looks like the lecture's just started.
Boy, nice turnout.
Gabriel decides to record the session.
Voodoo is the tribal religion of Africa. But the name, Voodoo, is actually a banner heading under which resides an entire body of distinct tribal belief systems. The word voodoo may sound familiar to you. What is known in the States as voodoo is actually an amalgamation of African religious systems, voodoo, and European religions, primarily Catholicism. All of the subcults of African voodoo have certain things in common. The most important is the worship of a pantheon of spirits instead of the single deity that the Christian and Muslim systems.
So, polytheism.
Some of these spirits are elementals. Some relate to specific tasks or places. Some represent important tribal leaders who have died. This spirit worship is what makes voodoo so easily adaptable. With all those spirits, it's no problem to add a few more. Say, for example, the Virgin Mary. At the height of tribal Africa, warfare was common. One tribe would conquer another, and the Loa, important in the conqueror's tribal system, would be adopted readily into the conquered tribe's Loa pantheon. In this way, many of the voodoo cults spread, mingled throughout tribal Africa, enriching the belief system and causing innumerable offshoots.
It's actually kind of fascinating.
The basis for the voodoo religion seems to be as old as man himself. It has much in common with many early pagan practices. Animal totems, sympathetic magic, elemental spirits in the trees, the heavens, the bodies of the sick. Africa is believed by many to be the cradle of the human race. Some of the voodoo Loa may be as old as the Garden of Eden itself. We still can't explain some of the real power of these primal religions. And note, I said primal, not primitive. There are African Bokors who baffle our scientists with their supernatural powers. Now, let's discuss the elements of voodoo.
Fascinating guy.
In voodoo,
Hey, I think this stuff's interesting, Gabriel.
the Loa.
Wah!
During a voodoo ceremony, celebrants are possessed by the Loa. This is called being ridden. The human worshiper is seen as a horse, and the Loa as the divine horseman. A person being ridden by a Loa takes on the characteristics of that spirit and becomes, in effect, merely a vessel for the more powerful entity. Some of the older, original Africa Loa include Dambala, the great serpent god, Ezruli, the mistress of love, Babanebo, or Gede, the lord of death, Agwe, the spirit of water, Legba, spirit of the crossroads, and the cruelest and most dangerous, Ogun Badagri, the lord of destruction.
Ugh. Oh, I gotta get more sleep at night.
The tribe-specific Loa can have as much or more power as the more widely worshipped Loa. For instance, a particular tribe might revere highly the Loa of an ancestor who was a legendary hunter or politician. Voodoo temples are called Houndfors. Their priests, Hungan or Bokors. Their priestesses, Mama Loa. In a voodoo Houndfor, there's a ritual circle marked by a center pole called a Potomitan. The ritual circle...
Well, that looks kind of familiar.
Veve, a pattern of symbols. Each tribe's Veve is slightly different, consisting of complex symbols that identify their special Loa. During ritual conclaves, initiates dance under the supervision of a Bokor and a Mama Loa, or head priestess. The use of totems or animal masks and markings was not uncommon in the original African ceremonies. Now, though, All but the oldest sects have abandoned this practice. Ritual objects used during the conclaves include the ritual gourd or asson.
That was in my
Ritual
dream.
knife or kubasa.
That knife gives me the chills.
The
And
ritual
Indiana Jones's whip.
or fouet cache. And the ritual coffin or seke madule. These items are often optional, called for by the Mamaloa for specific magic rituals. The Mamaloa is the most powerful figure in any Voodoo sect. Voodoo is a truly matriarchal system. Even the Bokor knows his power is limited. Mamaloa is the supreme woman. She... butterflies. Fireflies.
Saw that coming.
Firelight. No, what is it? Gabriel?
What? I can't see.
Gabriel, get in.
It's too small for me.
You must get in, Gabriel.
It's not mine. Too small.
Hide, Gabriel, hide.
No, no, let me out. Help.
Young man, the lecture is over.
Oh my god.
Oops. That was pretty creepy, though.
Gabriel scans the bulletin board. Greek night at the Alpha Psi Omega frat house. It looks like it took place sometime last spring. Gabriel, there's a notice for a lecture on investigative reporting techniques to be given by octogenarian Pulitzer Prize winner Laura Bo Dorian. Unfortunately, it's weeks away. By that time, Gabriel will have to have learned on his own.
Nice reference there. Laura Bow 2.
Those doors lead to the projection booth. Gabriel does not...
But I do need to go up here. I want to ask him some questions.
Are you
Yeah.
a student?
No. My name is Knight. Gabriel
And
Knight.
Well, you have walked into my private office, Mr. Knight. I hope you have something worthwhile to do here. If you figure it out, let me know.
Dick.
Mind if I pick your brain?
Not if it will get you out of my office.
That voice does not look like it should come from that body.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
You already sat through my lecture on the subject, Mr. Knight. Perhaps next time you could stay awake and learn something.
Oh, snap.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
I've read about them in the papers. I must admit to some interest. But according to the newspapers, the voodoo aspect is faked, so I haven't really pursued it. You know how Americans, especially Hollywood, treats voodoo. I'm sure there are many so-called practitioners out there that have no idea what they're doing or the power they're playing with.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
I find it interesting to see the occasional fragment of voodoo practices in the everyday culture of New Orleans.
Do you know anything about snakes?
I'm not a zoologist, Mr. Knight, but I know all I care to about reptiles.
Reptiles.
Do you have any idea?
Uh-oh,
what
I think I'm about to find
Cabrit
out.
Means?
Cabrit corps. Yes, I do. It's a Haitian term, I believe. It's French.
Oh, I was
It
wrong
literally
about that.
translates as goat without horns.
Oh, I was
As in
right, though. Silent is without.
Female goat?
No.
I was wrong about the
as
horns,
in a
though.
Human sacrifice. Sacrifices in voodoo are usually of the animal variety. Chickens, wolves, goats. If the gods demand a goat without horns, it means a human being.
What was that
I'm not in the
Okay.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
As I said in my lecture, which I assume you actually listened to, is that animal masks, totems, are used extensively in most African voodoo religions.
Tell me about bebés.
If you'd taken notes during my lecture, you wouldn't have to ask.
Don't be so full of yourself. Just answer the question. How many people do you have coming into your office asking you about your field of study that you are passionate about?
Tell me about bebés.
If you'd taken...
Jerk.
Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
I'm afraid I can't help you there, Mr. Knight.
Tell me about yourself.
All right, Mr. Knight, I'm 35, a fully tenured professor at this university, as well as a fellow at Cambridge. My doctorate...
That guy is older than
Syracuse.
35.
Yes, Syracuse, in religious studies. I'm an agnostic, but I find human belief systems fascinating. I specialize in African religions because I grew up there. My father was a Protestant missionary. And I am heterosexual, when I practice sex at all, which...
Well, thanks.
Any other questions?
Thank you for that.
No.
Fine.
Tell me more about human sacrifice.
It's very rare. Most voodoo practices do not include human sacrifice as a matter of record, but it is theoretically possible if that's the gods' demand. For example, one of the chants I had translated for me from a Haitian ritual went like this. Mistress Azuli, come and aid us. If a cock is demanded, we will give it. If a bull will suffice, behold it. But if a goat without horns is required for sacrifice, oh, where will we find one? Azuli is the gentlest of Loa, so they call on her for mercy. But I have seen grown and powerful Houngan tremble before a possession by one of the more violent Loa, such as Mapanilo. Clearly, they are afraid that something of the sort will be ordered, or that the Loa will simply take it for themselves.
Interesting enough. Does this white here... Okay, that's just where it was. Never mind. I wondered if that meant there was more to ask.
What can you tell me?
You already said.
Okay. Probably not.
I'd really like to...
There have been several articles written about me, Mr. Knight, as well as blurbs on my book jackets. If you want a biography, read.
Okay. Fascinating. How about I show him some stuff?
Is there anything you can tell me about the voodoo aspects of this photograph?
This is serious voodoo ritual.
I knew it.
Nasty stuff.
In what way?
Let's see. I can't make out much detail from this photograph. Except for the corpse, of course.
A corpse, of course.
The face. And what little I can see of the ritual paraphernalia. Reminds me of certain black voodoo practices. Very rare. I've never witnessed them myself, you understand.
Really? Interesting. Thanks.
That seemed kind of important. I wasn't surprised to see a chime there. Alright. Anything else I could show him?
Somewhere
Can you tell me anything about this?
No, I've never seen those symbols. Therefore, they're probably meaningless.
Really? Are you sure?
I am never wrong, Mr. Knight. Therefore, sure is not in my vocabulary.
Quite the ego on this one. What happened to my other...
is the
Didn't I have more?
letter.
I thought I had more. Of, you know, the ritual pieces of paper or whatever. Nope, I guess not. Oh, wait a minute. Can I just...
Can you tell me?
Nope. Well, hope the game's not bugging out. I can't remember why I wouldn't have those.
Can you tell me?
No.
Okay. He's not going to tell me anything
Your
else.
lecture was terrific.
Oh, you think so?
You must travel.
Yes, to Africa, mainly.
I suppose having all this voodoo stuff sitting around doesn't make you nervous at all.
It's voodoo stuff. Please don't touch.
Gabriel doesn't want to upset the fish. That mask is quite hideous. The squatter grins maliciously at Gabriel. It's an enormous stone head.
Okay, well, I think I may have gotten everything I can from here.
Did you know there's a whole branch of archaeology devoted to garbage?
Gabriel,
Did you know there's a whole branch?
I can't believe it actually let me do that. Alright, buddy. You were kind of informative, but kind of a dick. See ya.
I'll see you later.
Goodbye.
Alright. I don't think there's anything else at this location that I should check out. Weren't I gonna find that Kazonu?
Do you know anything about animal masks?
I'd really rather not hear about this like night.
Could you do some research?
Sure.
Never mind.
I can't think.
Okay.
Alright, well, I definitely have a few more topics I can go ask at the drugstore and at the museum. Let's do that. Well, now that I know what Cabrit sans CORS means, I can call you out on it, sucker.
I found out what Cabrit sans CORS means. How did you know about human sacrifice?
I never said those words, monsieur. You must have heard them from someone else.
Sure.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
Like the ones in the voodoo rituals they do for the tourists?
Right.
I used to sell a few as souvenirs. The only one left is Willie Jr. over there. The old crocodile. Well, he's sort of a mascot now here.
Do you know anything about Veves?
No, sir. Never heard of him.
Do you know anything about black voodoo?
Black voodoo? Oh, no such
Sure.
thing, I tell you for sure.
About Willie Jr., would you be willing to let him go?
Maybe. For $100.
$100? You've got to be kidding.
Me and Willie Jr. very close now. We part with him for less.
Okay, well, that's good to know, in case I need it.
the mask doesn't. The mask appears. To get the mask, Gabriel would have to buy it.
Alrighty, on to the Voodoo Museum again, with Dr. John.
Hello, Dr. John.
Glad you could return to us, Mr. Knight.
I got some questions for you, mister.
Could I ask you some more questions?
Of course. I also find our dialogue stimulating.
You're sure you haven't heard the term Cabrit sans CORS?
I am sure, Mr. Knight.
Well, I definitely don't believe you now.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
I used to have some antique African totem masks, but they were on the point of disintegration, so I removed them.
Do you know anything about Veves?
I believe they have something to do with Haitian voodoo, but that is not really my area.
Do you know anything about black voodoo?
That sort of viewpoint makes my work very difficult, Mr. Knight.
I'm not implying that all voodoo is evil, but there are certain practitioners that use voodoo towards a darker end, aren't there?
No one that I am familiar with. If there are one or two ignorant believers, that is none of my concern. And I do not care to promote a Hollywood interpretation of voodoo by discussing it.
A little defensive there.
Do you know Malia Getty?
Should I?
She referred me to your museum.
Many have read about our museum in the newspapers, Mr. Knight.
That's a good point.
True enough.
Is there anything else?
Not voodoo is of interest to those who study
What can...
historical.
Okay, so there's probably not a whole lot more I can get out of him for now. And I think I showed that to him already.
Perhaps Gabriel should...
Okay. I'll just slowly saunter out of the room.
Thanks a lot. Bye now.
Walk carefully out there, Mr. Knight.